Welcome to Tissue Talk. Today we are diving into the fascinating world of paper manufacturing, but from a very special perspective. We've got an inspiring guest today, Modesta Ferreira, Head of Converting at WEPA Bridgend. What does her role entail? How does her day-to-day look like? And how does she experience being a woman in a predominantly male industry? Stay tuned, we've got an inspiring story coming up for you. Modesta, thank you for coming and taking your time to be a guest at our Tissue Talk. Let's start from the beginning. What does the head of converting do at all? How would you describe your daily business?
Multitasking ninja. Really, every day is different, really. Whenever you are head of operations, trying to manage the day-to-day tasks as well as have a longer-term vision, it's quite a challenge.
Yeah, sure.
Because you think you come into work, you think you have a plan and everything worked out, and then the next thing is something changes and it's a constant change. So it's really about balancing, the day-to-day work and getting things done on a daily basis, supporting the vision of the company as well as the departmental needs. So it's hard to say, what is it, because it changes all the time.
I can imagine.
You open a laptop, you read your emails, you look at the production performance and everything, and then the next thing is you can be in sales meeting, and then the next thing you can be in planning meeting, and there is maintenance there. So it's so much, it's a variety of the tasks I do every day. And then the next thing you can be somebody coming with issues, from the shop floor, and when you're sitting down. So whenever you're becoming a leader or a manager, you become the doctor and a dentist and a psychologist and a salesperson and all these different things. So yeah, it's a lot of different tasks that I have to do on a daily basis.
Yeah, I can imagine. As you mentioned, the challenges, maybe we can dive into this a little bit deeper, and you can tell us about the challenges that come with your job. Like you've mentioned the organizational side, but also the technical side, I can imagine. And also maybe one point is also on your personal level, like mentally. Maybe we can dive into this a little bit deeper.
Yeah, there's a lot of different challenges. I suppose, you have a challenge, where how do you make sure that you do what's right for the business and at the same time keeping the people happy. And sometimes, unfortunately, it doesn't work that you can align the both. Sometimes in position, like mine, you have to do what's right for the business, and that might make you somehow unpopular, with the shop floor. So for me, is really the biggest challenge is to balance the two, to make sure that I still do what's right, and support the business and support the vision and support what is required from me as a manager, but at the same time to keep the people engaged and to keep the people and to keep the people really doing the best as they can. Because if I don't have my people on board and what I'm trying to do or what the company is trying to do, and I didn't deliver the message in the right way, then I can't do it by myself.
Sure.
So I think it's my personal challenge is really, finding that balance between the two. In regards of, operational challenges and everything is, the biggest probably challenges is really the budgets and, how do you make sure that you stay efficient, and still, not overspend. At the same time is, how do I maintain and support the company's vision and everything what we are trying to achieve, at the same time stay efficient. And so it's really juggling everything at the same time and making sure that I make the right decisions for what's best for the business, at the same time to keep the people engaged.
Is there a personal key you'd like to reveal? How do you do that exactly to find the balance?
I think it comes with experience, really, because I've been in management and leadership positions for over 20 years now. And, you don't just learn to do things like this and manage that in just within a week or just taking a course. It really comes with experience. And it's about building trust with your teams. So I spend a lot of time on the shop floor, and I get to know the team and on the more personal level rather than just work. So it's really about building trust for me. If your team doesn't trust you, or they don't really believe in what you're trying to do, and if they don't see you as you can help them, you're never gonna be able to achieve anything. It's just like I said earlier, you can't do it on your own. So I don't really know what the key is. It's really just get to your people.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes situation is the best coach in this cases as well, right? And what is the most fun part, Modesta?
Oh, fun part. Well, I don't know what the fun parts.
So many fun parts.
Yes, it's probably, somehow, the people is a hard part of the job, because it's not really the job itself, but the difficulty comes because we have different personalities and different cultures, and we're all different in our own way. So at the same time it's a challenge, at the same time it's a fun part, because you're getting to know all the different people, and you have a bit of laugh on the shop floor, you have a bit laugh on the office. So the fun part is really about engaging with everybody and getting to know all the different personalities as you go along through the journey as well.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about the values WEPA emphasizes on, like sustainability, innovation. How do you think that these values influence your daily work as well?
And whenever you in manufacturing and you run a production, you hear the word sustainability, the alarm bells ringing, downtime. So, and the reason is, because the more sustainable products they become a bit more difficult to handle. So even like materials and stuff like that. So it's causing inefficiencies, and it's the way new learnings for everybody. How do we do this and how we do that? So, but from the manufacturing point of view, we really need to be supporting the vision from the company. We need to be helping to deliver the promises and and what the company is trying to achieve. So yeah, it is challenging, and I think it'll become even more challenging as we grow more into the sustainable solutions and everything. But for me, in my role, and my team needs to be able to do this. It's not easy, it's hard. But we are here to do what's required from us.
We'll dive into this a little bit deeper later on, but I'd like to get to know you personally a bit better, if you allow us to do so. So maybe we can talk about your journey. How did you get into this position? And has it ever been like your career goal, or what was it all about?
No, not really. I didn't wake up thinking that I'm gonna manufacture some toilet roll, no. Very strange, because I originally came from Lithuania, from Europe. I came to Northern Ireland, which is a part of UK, back in 2005, early 2005. And I came and started my career as a process operator in a food manufacturing plant we manufactured poultry products.
Okay.
And at that time, I remember my mom also worked there, and I said to my mom, I said, I am not going, because I started bone checking thigh fillets for looking for bones in the meat. And I stood there on the production line and I just looked around everybody. I said to my mom, whenever I came back home, I said, Mom, one day I'm gonna be a manager.
Nice.
And my mom laughed at me back then, because back then, I was a young girl. I was only 18 years old. I was a woman in a foreign country, being a foreigner, where in a very male-dominated, industry. It seemed like something really unachievable. And I set myself goals, that this is what I want. I wanted to be a team leader, and then, I just progressed over the years. And I think with my, really hard work and determination, and, I was very results driven. Always, I've always wanted more from myself, from my career, from the teams, that I've led, very demanding. So I've achieved a lot, I went very quickly through my career journey. And, but I've always been in sort of manufacturing. And it took me years really, to get to where I am today. I wish, at that time I had a mentor, or I've realized the importance of a mentor, or I've realized the importance of networking, and all them things. But at that time, you don't think about them things. So I built my career really from the ground up. Yeah. And I've only, like I said, I used to say, I used to kill chickens for a living. This is a sort of laugh, between us in Bridgend now. And I came to WEPA 1.5 years ago. Whenever I came to WEPA, I didn't have any paper manufacturing experience. I didn't really have, I've never been in Wales. I've moved my whole family to, for the job in WEPA. For the job in WEPA. Yeah. So yeah, it was a bold, brave decision, I think, because I didn't know if I'm gonna like the country. I didn't know if I'm gonna make it, because it was completely new to me. I came from food into the paper industry. So yeah, it was a bold, brave decision. And whenever I came, I was the very first converting manager in Bridgend site, a woman. Right. So whenever I came there, I really had to prove myself, because I was young compared to, what you see the age groups, in the mill. I was a woman and a foreigner. So I had to make it work.
Quite a challenge.
And I moved all my family across, across the border. So yeah, I had a lot to do and a lot to prove, and failing, it was not an option. But I think I knew of myself. I trusted in myself. I knew what I can do. And then I quickly realized that my job wasn't really about knowing the paper manufacturing process. It was more to do with leading the team and leading the people and the cultural change that we went through.
Oh, that's impressive. It was such an inspiring story, and I was wondering while you are taking us on this journey, whether there have been people or moments that inspired you actually, or supported you along the journey, that you would like to stress, or was it just all on you, like all the pressure?
I think it's mostly me, myself. I've always wanted to better myself. I've always wanted to do well. I take pride in anything that I do. It's not just work, but so for me, it's very important, my reputation and how do people view me, not just a person, personally, but professionally as well.
Yeah.
And I always have very high standards of anything I do. So for me, I think I'm sort of my own drive and my own motivation. Whenever I was growing up, I was working hard from the very young age. All my mom's family, all farmers and all, so I've been involved in sort of farming and everything from a very young age, and I've seen how hard that is. And I think, so whenever I came and to actually work for myself as a job, then for me, it was just natural. The hard work and, and determination to succeed, it was very high. And so I think it's because of my background from my childhood. It's just the way I am.
Yeah.
I've always had goals. I also always had aspirations where I wanted to go. And I think that really helped me through my career and my journey, because I just constantly striving for more.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, I can be demanding as a leader, as well, from my team, because of how I am myself. And I think that's why a lot of the success that I had at work, it comes from my childhood.
Yeah, nice. Can imagine. But if we are talking about you as a woman in a leadership position in a predominantly male society or industry, whether it comes to food or paper industry at all, how did you experience that special position at all? And maybe you can take us into some hurdles you had to overcome, and how did you manage them at all?
Being a woman trying to navigate, the manufacturing industry is really not easy task. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend, everything is beautiful. But I think I was so determined, to succeed that, whenever you come to UK, it was like I said, being a foreign national young girl trying to get yourself, into a better, position or but, in the management leadership positions and stuff like that. It's not easy. I almost felt at times that I had to work twice as hard and prove myself to everyone. Because, if you look around even in the paper manufacturing, you look a lot of male, so I think now the industry is changing. You will see more companies who are trying, to look for more females. I think, more diverse teams and everything is now becoming more of a thing. Whereas before, whenever I first started out, it wasn't the case. It wasn't easy, I have to say. But I think you just have to go after what you want, and because if this is something that you as a woman, you are concerned, and this is what's constantly in your head, then manufacturing might not be the place for you. You just have to, close almost like the blinders, just focus on your career goals and just go after it.
Yeah,
really.
Yeah. You just mentioned that you see some changes. You see that the industry is opening itself to diversity or equal opportunities. But I heard there's still room for improvement. Where is exactly the room? Where do you see, give us an example maybe?
Well, absolutely. We actually had quite a few conversations over the last few days with different people about women, and the workforce and stuff like that in manufacturing. And in general, if you look around and what's going on, the women, we naturally, stay home with the kids and everything. And I think government is not really helping the fact that, the childcare is so expensive. And so a lot of women will stay home just because that they can't really afford, to leave a child in the childcare. So government perhaps could help. But I definitely see in the last number of years that the manufacturing, companies are really looking for more females in the more, especially in the more senior roles. But the problem is that everybody is looking and everybody's taking from the same pool of people.
Yeah.
And because women are more likely to probably stay home with the kids and everything after we have children, so it's difficult. Because I believe that government should do a bit more to allow women to come back into work. But at the same time, it's like I said, it's not easy to navigate the manufacturing as a woman. You have to be some kind of personality to be there, really. But the things are changing, because I know for a fact that there's some companies have specific goals, by 2030, I want to have so many women, 50 percentage. I had been contacted previously by recruiters, a couple of years ago, before I even joined WEPA, where we said specifically that certain companies are looking for women specifically. But again, from the company's point of view, you wouldn't just settle for someone in the job, especially if more senior roles, just because that's someone is a female. So you have to find that balance. That is important. The diversity in the workplace is extremely important for decision making, for the general energy and everything else. So I think the world and the industry is definitely evolving into this.
Yeah, of course. Is there a certain advice you would give females in similar situations, no matter whether they're aiming for a leadership position or just in an industry with few female role models?
Yeah, I think whenever you think of, say, manufacturing industry, I don't think any woman wakes up thinking that, I'm going to work in manufacturing,
Maybe there are.
Well, maybe, but I don't think it's very many, so whenever you think of manufacturing, you think it's heavy machinery, and all you have to do is really work with machines, and there's all these mechanical and stuff, Not really. There is a lot of different roles, you don't have to work in production. There is HR, there is, sales, there is quality, and there's so many different roles that, anybody can do. it doesn't matter of your gender or your age, really. So it's, don't be, what I would say is, don't be scared or don't have any fear of manufacturing or any kind of something that doesn't fit. Oh, maybe, is it really a female job? Because a lot of industries, not even manufacturing, you might think, oh, maybe it's more for a man, or more for, but not really, because there's a lot of jobs anybody really can do. It's, so it's really just to explore the options.
Yeah.
Because it is, seriously, we have a skills shortage across. I believe it's not just in UK, it's a skills shortage of talent is everywhere.
Yeah.
And the problem is real. You're struggling to recruit, a good qualified candidates. The problem is there. So I don't think the companies no longer look whatever you're a female or a male or whatever. I think as long as, if you have any kind of interest, just go for it and explore the opportunity. And, if you don't like it as you go along, especially for the younger people, sometimes people are afraid, whenever I left school, I didn't have a clue what I wanted.
That's right. Yeah.
How would you know? I think very little, will know what we want to do after we finish school. It's not possible. How would you know at 16 or 18 years old what is your career going to be? No chance. So for me, it's really about exploring and finding out as you go along of what you don't want to do and what you don't like and what definitely no. Because I've tried, in my career, I've done different kind of roles, even though it was in the same company, but I'd done the production, and then I decided, okay, I wanted to do quality, and then I wanted to do a bit of Manex or continuous improvement role, and I wanted to do a bit of sales. So I've tried them all, but then I came back to production and doing an operations because this is what I'm good at.
Yeah.
And this is what I enjoy. Yeah, I enjoy to be in the middle of everything what's happening, So you have to find what you like and what you don't like. And the only way to do this is go and try.
Yeah.
And sometimes people, think that this is the career, I have to make a right decision and everything, and this is going to be my career for life.
Yeah.
It might not be. You might realize very quickly on that this is not what you like or not what you want. And in the end, maybe a number of years later, it could be completely different thing what you started.
Very true.
So it's not something, you choose for life.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes
don't be
also-
afraid of failure.
Yeah, right. And give it a try.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's not a failure, it's an experience.
I like that. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that journey. I'd like to switch into the values once again, as we were talking at the very beginning. And we were talking about values at WEPA, like respect, commitment, and also sustainability, like taking responsibility for planet and people. And there you comes in as well in your position. How do you experience these values in your work environment?
Yeah. Respect is definitely something, it's very important. We have to respect each other's, boundaries, each other's opinions. Otherwise, it becomes very chaotic.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to feel free to share, how we feel, what we think. And this is how we try and live every single day. And it's like I said, we have to be respectful to each other. We have to work together as a team, and because we have one goal. And I said it earlier, and I'm going to repeat myself again. I can't do and I can't make things happen on my own.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure that me, myself, and my team, we are working together to deliver results, to deliver the goals that the company is required for us, whatever it's sustainability or performance related or anything like that. So values for us as a team, as well as a whole group, as a WEPA, is really key to our day-to-day operations.
Yeah. Yeah, nice. Thank you. Let's dive into the sustainability aspect a little bit deeper, because we all know that paper manufacturing is a resource-intensive process, like you know best. How do you and your team, especially in converting, contribute to implement this sustainable solutions?
Yeah, well, we try to do our best to make, things work. I said it earlier, but sometimes sustainability, whenever it comes down to actually manufacturing the product, can bring its own challenges. It does, start to affect your performance because maybe you have a film that's not necessarily performing the way the virgin film would perform. The materials are different. It's all about learning. So, we really learn as we go and trying to do the best that we can to make it work, to still be efficient, to make sure we don't produce waste, to make sure that we give that feedback and that we share our knowledge between the sites as well.
Sure.
So and is working with sales team and the planning team, because it's not just about the manufacturing. It's everybody needs to click and align. Working with purchasing teams as well. So it really becomes a huge sort of working group. Everybody who have the same goal and trying to deliver result. And it's challenging. I'm not gonna lie, but it's all about working together and doing what's best for the business in the end.
Yeah. Let's talk about this collaborations a little bit more. Like you just mentioned other sites. I can imagine that other departments are also part of it, like whether it comes to logistics or production. How do you shape these values or the way of finding solutions together?
Well, we try to collaborate, whatever. So on a daily basis, depends on the department. And it's like I said, you're trying to find the common ground, what's still fits within the department's needs and within the department's requirements and the capabilities of the department, as well as of the business needs. And it is juggling that. It could be difficult sometimes. And we just try to work together, really, on a daily basis. And, just by living the values, if you're going back to the values, is make sure that we respect each other's, requirements as well. So it's not just a one-way street, whereas no, I'm not doing this, it's not working. I have to understand, that maybe the purchasing and the sales department, they have the needs where we need to supply the customer. We need to, do what's right from that side of the business. So it's really about respecting each other's, targets, respecting each other's boundaries and requirements and everything. That's where the values comes in as well. So we don't end up fighting against each other. At the end of the day, we are here to deliver the same goal.
Yeah, right.
And we need to put our differences aside sometimes and just do what's right.
It's about balance.
Yes, it's all about balance.
In the beginning. Yeah, right. When it comes to goals, what are your goals for the future on the professional side, but also on the personal side?
Yeah, well, I never stop learning. So for me, it's just continue learning. But professional goal is really because, we are going through a huge transformation journey in our site. So for me, it's really, we want to be the #1 site in WEPA. So we are going after it. So we really, as a team, and it's my job to make sure that, we've taken the right steps to get there. Sorry, everybody else, but so professional goal is really just to keep going and driving the team to make sure that we go after the goals that we want, we are gonna get there. So, yes, but so that would be my probably the biggest goal. I want to make sure that, I lead the team in that way where we can stand on the stage next year again on the Perform and Transform Summit and tell another success story.
Yeah, nice.
We have a lot of challenges coming our way. It's becoming harder and harder because the more you improve, and it's becoming, of course, harder to get more improvements, but we still have a long journey to go. So it's exciting, and I know that's a lot of work. Yeah, challenges and stressful days is coming. So, but finger on.
Yeah, part of the business.
Yes, it's a part of the manufacturing industry, I guess. There's always challenges. There's always improvements needed. In what doesn't change dies. So you just need to keep pushing.
Yeah, and that's the part where your personality clicks into the professional part, right?
Yes. I think I think a lot of things I've achieved probably is because of my communication skills and the personality. I'm just able to click and connect with people.
Yeah.
I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
I find it easier sometimes to get something done. You just smile and you blink your eyes a little bit, and
Yeah. And find a connection.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to keep on talking for hours with you, but I have just one question left that I would like to ask you. Is there a certain lesson you learned on your whole journey that you would like to share to others, maybe also when it comes to young talents?
For someone who's only starting their career, probably, I would recommend to really get someone to mentor you and guide you through your journey. If I had someone earlier on in my career, I think I could have achieved things a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Fortunately, whenever, especially if you're coming from the operator level or very, very junior position and you're trying to navigate your way, you can get lost very quickly. And I think if you really career driven and you want to progress, I would really say find yourself someone to guide you through the journey and learn from someone a few steps ahead of you.
Yeah.
Because it can really help you to develop as a person. And just reach out to the people, different departments and stuff like that. Build that network because you just never know what's going to happen in your career.
Yeah.
Where you're going to end up, really.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for taking us on this inspiring journey. It was a pleasure talking to you, Modesta.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.